This is one of Cluny the Scourge's Rome Total War matches, this time in the Barbarian Invasion expansion. I'm playing as the Eastern Roman rebels. My opponent, Selifator, is playing as the Huns. So naturally I'm expecting him to have plenty of cavalry, probably horse archers. To that end I've taken 8 units of Eastern archers, which are the best archers in the Barbarian Invasion expansion. I think I'll need them to fend off his horse archers. I've protected them with a line of 4 Legio Lanciarii, that's Roman legions but equipped with spears. I've put 2 units of Hippotoxotai, East Roman horse archers on my left flank, and I've hidden 5 units of Sculae Palatini, that's heavy cavalry, on my right flank in the trees. Now as it turned out, my Hunnic enemy took no horse archers at all. He had only striking cavalry, 10 units of tribal cavalry which he's put on his wings. You see them there, 4 of them swinging around his left, and the rest are coming around his right chasing my horse archers, and because they're light cavalry they have a pretty good chance of catching them. They are, however, holding his attention there and causing him to divide his cavalry. Now here you see that I've brought my heavy cavalry out of hiding in the woods, and I'm mixing it up with that light tribal cavalry that he was trying to swing around me with. We're both attempting to achieve envelopments, and he's doing rather better at it than I am. But I have the advantage that all of my elite archers are pouring their missiles into that thick mass of Hunnic cavalry you saw just there, exacting a heavy toll for every moment they're in battle. And there you see my horse archers are indeed being caught. Now for the heavier component of my opponent's cavalry, he's taken 5 units of Hun lancers and 4 chosen warriors, and they are moving against my centre, trying to knock out those archers which are wreaking such terrible devastation. But Eastern archers are pretty well armoured, they can handle themselves for a little while at least, and they're also protected there by heavy spearmen, the Legio Lanciarii, which are, in my opinion, death on legs for cavalry. Now I've just lost my general, that's a bit of a setback, but I'm able to support this thick cavalry battle over on my right with Lanciarii that I've peeled away from my centre, and they're starting to tip the tide in my favour. Now way back over on my left you see those tribal cavalry beginning to put paid to my horse archers, and my opponent will be able to bring them back to support the rest of his forces pretty soon. So it's all the more important that I hurriedly pull back all those troops that have just won that engagement in the thicket of trees there, back to the centre to protect my archers, as you see there, and reform my spearmen. Now you'll notice that throughout this battle, my spearmen and archers have pretty much remained static in the same place, except for that 1 or 2 units of spearmen I peeled off to support the cavalry fight. Those archers might have been hard hitting, but I had to keep them well protected at all times, and that meant that they were anchored in place. Now my opponent, with his army composed entirely of cavalry, had far superior mobility. That was his chief tactical advantage. But he didn't utilise it and exploit it to its fullest. He could have kept his cavalry massed and sent them all the way around, either on the left or the right, and thus forced me to reposition my whole army, and so dislocate them, and buy time for himself to concentrate and strike against one of my flanks, or to knock out my cavalry, or to achieve some single tactical goal. Instead he tried to achieve everything at once, and also to distract me and prevent me from making the necessary decisions as quickly as possible. Now as a result, he had the sheer numbers only to achieve one of his goals, to knock out my skirmishing horse archers, and as a result, when he brought the rest of his troops back, and also these regrouped cavalry who had been routed in the thicket engagement and in the centre, I'm able to beat off each charge separately, shooting down as many of the enemy as I can and meeting them with my spearmen. And since also he failed to realise that he needed to give up the quest for momentum and instead try to make good his initial mistake by consolidating all of those regrouped units and the units that defeated my horse archers into one mass, and try to achieve by concentration what he should have done initially. Instead, he sends them in piecemeal, one after the other, as you just saw, coming from the left, from the centre, from the right. I'm able to destroy them piecemeal. Now, it's true that the Huns don't actually have terribly good infantry. It's the cavalry that are their great strength. But by taking no infantry at all, it meant that the Huns had no means to fix my infantry in place while he used his cavalry to achieve their goals, and that's how I was able to win the cavalry engagement in the thicket of trees, by peeling off those spearmen to support it. Also, at least a couple of units of horse archers would have been useful in keeping my eastern archers occupied while his striking cavalry made their move.